Hi everyone, my name is Amanda and I am your Jamberry Nails Consultant. I am super excited to show you my tips and tricks for putting on a Jamberry manicure today. I'm going to start out with a few key things. So I'm going to show you my tools and then we'll go ahead and get started with the application tips. So the very first thing I want to show you is this is a set of Jamberry nail wraps. $15, you get 2 manicures, 2 pedicures, and room for accenting. As you can see on this sheet, I've already used them. I did my jamacure and then I also used one here for an accent nail, and I still have tons left to use in the future. So one of these sheets, like I mentioned, is good for 2 manicures and 2 pedicures. Some of the tools we have this awesome plum bag. This is our application kit. It comes with these great tools. An orange stick, a cuticle pusher, some scissors for trimming, a file, and a buffer stick. And if you choose to get the application kit with the nail oil, it will come with cuticle nail oil as well. Otherwise, you can get it without. Some other things I have here today are clippers. Those can come in handy, just depends on your preference. Our lacquer remover, which is awesome. Totally recommend this. I love this product. Takes off the Jamberry nail wraps really quickly with no leftover residue, which is great. And then our nail prep cleanser, which is essentially rubbing alcohol. So you can get that at through Jamberry or just at Target or whatever you prefer. And then I also have our mini heater here, which is really great for hands-free application. Otherwise, you can use your hair dryer. So super convenient because you usually have most of these things right at home, or you can pick them up at the dollar store, Target, or you can get the Jamberry products as well because those are always available and they're great. So now I'm going to go ahead and share with you my tips and the process for applying a Jamberry nail wrap. My very first tip for you today is nail prep. That is my first tip for you today. I'm going to go ahead and walk you through the nail prep process. The very first thing you do is make sure your nail is clean. So I washed my hands before we started today. And then what you're going to want to do is you're going to take your cuticle pusher and you're going to push your cuticle back. Make sure we get as much of the nail surface showing as possible. Make sure you don't have any hidden cuticle that would cause for a bad application. So get that all pushed back. And I wanted to show you too, I've been wearing Jamberry nail wraps constantly since probably February, or maybe even since December, and there's no nail damage. So they are very nail friendly if you move them properly. All of the nail wraps come in a little folder, a little sleeve like this, and on the back you'll find the nail prep instructions. So I highly encourage you to follow those and take the tips that I'm giving you today as well. So I push my cuticle back. The next thing I'm going to do is shape my nail. If you need to do any shaping, you can go ahead and do that at this time. Now I'm going to use my nail cleanser. I'm going to go ahead and just use a cotton ball to clean that. Like I mentioned, rubbing alcohol works just fine too, so I'm going to get that all cleaned up. That just gets off any excess nail oils so that we have a smooth application. And then I'm going to go ahead and buff my nail to prep it. I'm going to turn on my heater so it gets a little warmed up. And then today I'm going to use, I already pre-cut this little nail wrap for my finger. I'm going to use my orange stick and I'm going to go ahead and peel it up with the edge of the orange stick. Now I'm going to try not to touch the nail wrap with my fingers because I just got all the oils off my skin, but I don't want to get the oils on the nail wrap. So I have it here on the orange stick. I'm going to go ahead and heat it up. And just for a few seconds, it'll start to curl. You see it kind of started to curl, and then I'm going to go ahead and apply it on my finger. I'm going to get it as close to my cuticle as possible without touching the skin. And you can adjust it too if you didn't get it quite in the right spot, like I did. And this kind of goes along with tip number 2 I want to share with you today. tip number 2 is to choose a little bit too small of a wrap versus too big. As you can see, this wrap doesn't fit my nail exactly right, but it's really pretty close. And I don't want a wrap that's too big, because that might cause the wrap to be on my skin, and then it's not going to stick as well. So make sure you choose a little bit too small versus too big. And these sheets are clear, so you can compare with your finger the size of wrap that's appropriate for the nail, and choose that way. So I've heated it up once, put it on my nail. I'm going to heat it a second time. And I like this little tip too for these wraps that are a little bit pliable. Once you heat it up, they become a little bit stretchy, so you can stretch it to really curve around those edges of your nail. And now I'm going to go ahead and trim my nail. So I'm going to take these scissors that come in my application kit, or you can use a clipper because they're rounded and those are nice. I like to look at my nail when I'm trimming so I don't cut off any of my nail. And just trim off the excess, set that aside. And then the next step is to file. You file off any excess that might be hanging on there, which goes to tip number 3, file in a downward motion. So I'm going to go ahead and file just like this, and the extra should just come right off. As you can see here, it's just kind of coming off with my file. You can see here that I got that edge filed right off. And you can heat it again if you found any bubbles or you need to smooth it out one more time. The reason we don't want to file in a side-to-side motion is because that's going to go ahead and cause your wrap to get some wrinkles, and we want to avoid that. My next tip, so that's it. That is all it takes to apply a Jamberry nail wrap. As you can see, that it goes really quick, and there's no dry time, no smudging. I love that about them. But my very last tip, well, not my last tip, my next tip is to keep your hands dry for 1 to 2 hours. We want to make sure that watertight bond does adhere, and so make sure you keep your hands out of water. I mean, if you wash your hands and they get a little wet, it's not going to be a huge deal, but we do try to keep them out of the water for 1 to 2 hours to really get that bond set in. I like to do mine at night and then go to bed, so I don't have to worry about washing my hands and getting them wet. That works for me, but whatever works for you is gonna be just fine. My very last tip for you today is to go ahead, once you've done your Jamberry nail wrap, and flaunt those Jamacures. You're going to get so many compliments, and you're just going to love them. I know it. I love them. I'm totally hooked, which is why I became a consultant, and I've just had a blast doing it. So those are my tips for you for applying Jamberry nail wraps today, and I hope you decide to check them out, and let me know if you have any questions. Thanks!